Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me see. Joy and More, thank you for being first today. Mary H. Hidley Joseph, excuse me. Linda Lala, Hannah in Florida, Iris Wood. Let's see. Who else is here? I know Harry and Meghan haters secretly love Meghan, can't stop talking about her. And I like the money symbol because that's exactly what it adds up to. The more they hate, the more they make. I am sure of that. Brenda Phillips, Angela Simmons, Fancy, Lady Bird, Miranda Rios, hello, Brenda Phillips, Benny Blair, Lydia Washington, Rosita Cositas. Okay, I like that. Rositas Cositas. And Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Let's see. Joya Moore. Uh, Hannah Bird. Okay, Boyd, rather. I think I'm starting to repeat myself. Novi D. Betty. Shirley P. Dorothy Ross. Oh no. Okay, sorry to hear that, Dorothy. Let's see who else is here. Francilia Mosley. I think I said that already. Okay, so let me just. Oh, Doria Iglesias. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Saturday to you. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Okay, so why don't we just get into it then? So we won't keep some of the squatties up too late. All right. So with that, oh, I already have my slide ready. Fancy me. Okay, and I'll do that. And I will. Let me see. What is that number 9? Okay, okay, got it. And one more, just in case. Very good. All right. Hello, Kim Peaches. All right. So thank you very much again for the super sticker. And I'm going to hide me from the corner there. And I tell you, the Sussexes are adorable, whatever they do. All right. So I think it's an insult to the people who call Edinburgh home, that their city can be passed around as a trinket, to be given to people as a birthday present. Well, this article comes from The National. The National is a newspaper in Scotland, and they are very particular about their Scottish heritage and pride. The king has handed his late father's title to the Duke of Edinburgh, to his brother of, I'm sorry, title Duke of Ed. Oh yeah, that's right. To his brother Prince Edward, Charles conferred the title on the former Earl of Wessex in celebration of Edward's 59th birthday. God, he's only 59, on Friday. Sophie, the former Countess of Wessex, is now the Duchess of Edinburgh, while their 15-year-old son, James Viscount Severn, is the new Earl of Wessex. The new Duke and Duchess will be in Edinburgh, their first outing with their new titles in the city, which inspired their names, later on Friday at reception to mark the first year of conflict in Ukraine. Well, as you know, that has already happened by the time I have shared this with you, as today is Saturday, and gosh, believe it or not, for some people, it's already Sunday morning. Wow, that's weird to me. But yeah, so, you know, I have to tell you guys, is very much in the same vein as this right here. Imagine growing up knowing you'll be made prince of a foreign country, that is. Then imagine the arrogance required to not bother learning the language? Which is the question that a lot of people asked of the now Prince of Wales, William. You know, your whole life at some point you're going to be the Prince of Wales. And aside from something that has been written out for you, like, I don't know, the night before, you don't speak a lick of the language for the uh, area in which you have been invested as, I don't even know what to call what you are to them. But yeah, you don't even speak the language, which is mighty awkward, I would say. But um, I'm pointing this out to you guys for one very good reason. The areas or the counties, or in the case of um, Wales, the country, they consider themselves a country, even though they are part of that union. The arrogance that you might someday be conferred as the Prince of Wales and you don't even bother to learn the language. Now, let me just give Charles credit for the fact that, yes, Charles did bother to learn the language. Charles, as we remember from The Crown, was very proud of the fact that he was able to speak Welsh. Um, and oh, you know what, guys? I tell you what, my screen for let me open up another screen because my how do I put this? The conversation does not advance. My screen says there's still 212 people in the chat. Well, I know looking at the other screen that is 859. So I'm going to open up a new screen just to help advance things along because the one that I'm working on is stuck. So give me just a second here. Oh, there we go. There's an echo. All right, so I'm going to be very brave and close the other one. Okay, I'm back. I hope. And I think this should remedy the situation because the other screen was not advancing, like a little glitch in the system. So there we go. Very good. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me see here. Yep, I think you can hear me. Perfect. All right, sorry about that, you guys. Just a little bit of a glitch, but now it is resolved and the conversation is actually moving again. I hope. Okay, that's and there. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Viewers show up in the oh no. Okay. This is a nightmare. All right, you guys, bear with me for just a second. All right, so enter studio. All right, the conversation is back. Very cool. So I'm going to close that one and try it again. Okay. Okay. All right, you guys, it is working. I can see the conversation. Now I can see there are 936 people. That is so weird. It was stuck at 212, which lets me know that it was just a little glitch in the system and my computer was reset. So that shouldn't be the problem. But Never mind all that who shot John. The point is, we are here and now it is working. So, let me see. All right. So, I see Sonia Johnson. This is the first thing I can see here. All right, you guys, thank you so much for your patience. It is working just fine. I can see a bunch of new people have joined us. Oh, yes, it's a birthday. It's a birthday. Cookies and cream. Happy birthday. As someone has as someone has already told me, I think. Let me see. Now, for Cookies and Cream's birthday, let's see what we have. We'll do our favorite for Cookies and Cream's birthday.
That's Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
Hello, Ivy.
Hello, Ivy here.
Here.
Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Judge Nellie's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. Hit it. You know what? Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. All right. Happy birthday, Cookies and Cream, and many happy returns of the day. And also, thank you, as always, Cookies and Cream, for bringing it to the conversation, as you always do. Wouldn't be the same without you. So, many happy returns of the day. Happy birthday, and many more to come. And as usual, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. All righty then. Oh man. It's so cool that you guys are like spending your birthdays with the squad. That is so cool. So thank you so much for that. We have had birthdays, we have had babies born while watching Royal Sussex. Oh man, and I think I'll leave it there. Okay. Yes, absolutely. And if Trenchtown ever gets that money, then we're going to make sure you get your cut. I promise. And if you don't get your share, I tell you what, we have ways to handle that too. If you don't get your share of the money, we are going to call
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
We're going to call the Popo. So we'll make sure you get exactly what you got coming. All right. So let me see here. Okay. All right. So let's move on then. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you for sharing the birthday greetings with Cookies and Cream. Oh, I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make myself disappear out the corner there. Oh, and yes, happy. Oh, nope, that's not it. Happy Women's History Month. Okay, there we go. And with that, we'll go. Oh, we already done that one. So, oh, I was here admonishing him again. Remember, Neiman Marcus, not my king. And of course, Nad Us Angen uh, Taisag R Jiru. And I'm telling you, boy, I tell you, when the Welsh cuss you out, you know you have been cussed out. I don't know what that means, but it's something to do with we don't want him. Well, let me see. Wales doesn't need a prince. Well, exactly. There's some history with that, you guys, why the Welsh are prickly about the idea of having a Prince of Wales. So, anyway, enough of those, folks. CB Regional Library. I don't know where that one is, but got a spare minute? Got a spare minute? Get it? Get your weekend started by picking up a new book at your local library. Well, apparently, okay, you guys, I clicked on the hashtag Bookface Friday. I don't have the examples to share with you because I was really only interested in spare. But this is what it's all about is that you find the title of a book that you are planning to read or that you know and love very well, and you take a photo holding up the book to your face. I've seen one with Aretha Franklin. I've seen one with characters and such, a wolf, all kind of figures and people that they would hold up and they would try to fix. Well, as you can see right here, Royal uh, Tyrrell Museum. Well, anyway, that shirt is brown, and that's why he's wearing the brown shirt, is so that it would actually identify with Harry's book covers. So that is why that's going on. All righty then. And so, with that, let us move on. Now, poor Kate. I want to show you something, guys. Now, I am not trying to throw shade at um, Her Royal Highness Princess Kate, the Princess of Wales. I'm getting used to saying that, Princess Kate. Although we all know who the Prince of Wales is, but as Charles has made it official, whatever. Okay, so notice that this holy uh, man, well, actually, there, the lady is holding hands with Meghan. You can see that somewhat clearly, but the lady has stepped forward a bit and she has taken Meghan by the hands. This was when they were in South Africa. And notice that Meghan isn't trying to be condescending by wearing, something like a typical tribal outfit or something like that. She's just wearing a simple dress, something that travels well. And as I've been saying, the Sussexes have reinterpreted a royal tour. Like, for instance, they didn't start their tour by going to see any officials and such first. This was when they were in South Africa, of course. And by the way, Joan Lawman, thank you so much for 3 months. 3 months of membership to Royal Sussex. I appreciate it very much. And thank you so much for being here today. Greatly appreciate it. So, so that's all well and good. Meghan is holding hands with this woman who is, saying whatever she's saying to Meghan. I'm sure is a mutual show of respect and affection. Okay, and then let's do this one. So, as you know, poor Kate the other day had a very nasty faux pas when she went to go and visit a mosque. Well, apparently, the Imam chose not to touch hands with someone that, well, there's various reasons why they don't do things like that. Sometimes it's because, they only ever touch a woman who is, a blood relative. Other than that, touching hands or any type of embrace or something like that is out of the question. Or as a holy man, if you find someone impure or mentally unbalanced, oh, I think I threw that one in there. But if you find someone unworthy, if you find someone too faint, phony, and too garish, then of course you wouldn't want to touch their hands. So, if you have found someone who has been known to throw their bum out the window or something like that, then obviously, as a man of the cloth, you would not want to. You know what I'm saying? But then here comes sweet, loving Meghan. And the thing is, you guys, he didn't want to let go. I mean, this went on for a pretty long period of time where the video is floating around on social media. If you've seen the video, then you know he absolutely did not want to let go. Now, as an imam, I thought it wasn't proper for him to, touch the hand of some, but maybe he sees Meghan as his sister, and that's what makes it okay. Um, that there's not something wicked or sinister about her, where, and I don't know the reasons. I'm just trying to put some possibilities out there. It's just some women that a holy man would not want to take their hand in friendship. And then of course there's Meghan. So I'm just saying this is no slight against anybody else. I'm sure there could have been dozens of reasons why that particular imam in London thought, ugh, no, thank you. Or, ugh. Oh, Miss D. Bernard, thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. And thank you so much for the super sticker. Greatly appreciated. And thank you so much for being here with us today. Happy Saturday to you. So, right. Yes, Muslim men cannot touch a woman they are not related to. Exactly. Mumbles is an embarrassment. Well, it seems like with all of they always say she never puts a foot wrong. But then how did that happen? I'm just so embarrassed for her. I really am. I hate that. I really, really hate that happen. I hate that. I hate that happened. Yes, I saw that. No research done by Kate's team. Oh, you're talking about that team over at the Kensington Palace, the Kensington crew? I couldn't imagine. I don't know, but it was very awkward. And there you could see, let me take that away. You could see how she extended her hand. And if you look at the small photo there, he touched his hand to his chest, which was to show respect. And he, nodded his head and she responded in kind. I'm sure that there was nothing to it, but he is a holy man, and that's Kate. So he just chose to abstain from any type of anything. And if you look right here, you can see a little clearer how she extended that gnarly um, hand of hers out there, that Hansel and Gretel glove puppet. You can see how she extended that out there, and he was just like, nope, nope. Oh man, Sandra Streets, thank you so much for joining Royal Sussex. And Black Queen, 9 months membership. Thank you. Black Queen is a member of 9 months. But wait for it. Let me see. And along with that, there is a super sticker from Miranda Rios. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you for being a member. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. So, well, I mean, really, Shirley, I just it's so awkward, and Kate works so hard at never putting the foot wrong, never saying much of anything. I feel awful for her. I just absolutely feel awful. Cookies and Cream says Miss Pretzel Stick Mumbles is a complete idiot. Her oven is on, however, the dough is still coming out raw. She's a buffoon. And you guys, our official chaplain, Jacqueline Squash, says, "Good evening, Baron and Squatty family. Baron, I hear you got your bell back. Ring your bell, Baron." God bless you all, family, and God bless the Sussex family and Mom Doria. Blessings nonstop, or praying nonstop. I got that, praying nonstop. Thank you so much, Jacqueline Squash, the official chaplain of Royal Sussex. And thank you again, Sandra Streets, for joining Royal Sussex. Thank you for the new membership. Still a bargain at just $4.99. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. And I did. Anna Boyd, thank you so much. Thank you again for the super sticker. And I'm scrolling back in the other direction now. And right here, I think that the puppet master in the palace deliberately sends that dumb heifer on outings for a good laugh because they know that she is an imbecile and unprepared. Absolutely. Yeah, that way they could all sit back and have a good laugh. Well, I mean, it was just so awkward. It was so awkward. Oh my goodness, it's 1:58 a.m. Still not sleeping. Have been surfing YouTube the whole day to find out if you are live chat. You know what, Faye? This is what I'm gonna do. I hate that I don't. I'm gonna try to figure out a reasonable time slot that I know I'm going to be on. So that way, for all of us that want to join on Royal Sussex at any given day, you'll know that at least it is coming up. Now, I'm not saying I won't change the time. However, I think it's still helpful to have um, something up there so you can check and see if the time has changed. So Faya, for you, I am definitely going to do that. And thank you on behalf of everybody else who may have considered that same thing. So I will do that. Thank you. Coffee Bear, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And remember, as long as there's coffee, the world is a much safer place to be. That's what I always say. And right here, the unexpected awkward moment that Kate Middleton experienced. Well, it was so upsetting. You could see, rather than feel sad about it, look at her. She's laughing and whooping it up and having a good time. And you could even see the kids behind her looking as if to say, and just what is so doggone funny. Oh, by the way, Lydia, you shared a link, and I don't know what that is. Let me click on that link and see what this is. Oh, okay. This looks like, oh, yeah, I'm already a subscriber. The Sussex Royal Court. Yeah, I'm already a subscriber to this channel. So, you guys, there is a new channel on the link, Sussex Royal Court. So, do feel free to go over to the Sussex Royal Court and make sure you that you like, share, and subscribe. Yes, I'm already a subscriber. Thank you so much. I didn't recognize the name at first. All right, so again, thank you, Coffee Bear, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. All right, so right here, trigger alert. You guys, I want to show you something. There is the filtered images of the tabloid media, and then there's Kate. 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 No shade. I'm just saying that I want to give a shout out to the British tabloid media for being so nice to filter her photos for to go through the trouble of photoshopping. I think that's very kind of them. And yes, they have done her a solid because I prefer Kate raw and natural like she is in these photos. I think it's more. I think it's more becoming, don't you? I think the natural look works for her. So I think the tabloid media has done her a disservice with all of those filters. I don't know how this one slipped through, but they have done her a disservice with all of those filters. I think that her natural beauty is more becoming. I think her natural beauty is more becoming. And so I may even start a petition where I insist that they stop making her look so artificial. And I know what you guys are thinking. That is not a gray hair coming out of her chin. I believe that is actually a fiber from that head cover that she's wearing. That is not a gray hair. So stop what you're thinking. Um, that is not a gray hair. Oh my goodness, Two River Power, another new member. Thank you so much. There is another new member to Royal Sussex. And remember, the memberships are still a bargain at just $4.99. And Reba Henderson, thank you so much for wishing happy birthday to Cookies and Cream and also being a member of Royal Sussex. And happy Saturday to you. So, anyway, you guys, you think so? No, I don't think so. I would 55, but not 60. No, but anyway, I'm just, I don't like the filters. I don't like the filters. So anyway, just sharing that with you. So in case you guys wondered, what is Kate under all of those filters and such? This is the real Kate. All right, no shade. And so there you can see Meghan dignified and elegant and very present at the mosque that she visited in South Africa, whereas Kate is all one big ongoing joke, a laugh a minute. Oh, you made the faux pas and tried to shake the Imam's hand. He refused, even though this is central London and she ought to have known better. But for her, it was just one big laugh and joke. And even William is trying to, use a little eye contact to say, settle down, settle down. But Kate, she doesn't care. She just laughing and grinning and smiling. And remember, Kate never puts a foot wrong. Woo, somebody woke up on the wrong side of Shady today. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for being a member. And Sherilyn Ward, thank you for the super sticker. And also thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And happiest of Saturdays to you. Happy Saturday to you both. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated. And thank you for supporting Royal Sussex. Royal Sussex, where we strip away the veneer of the photoshops and the filters and get right down to the story. Okay. Kate Middleton's handshake, snubbed by community leader, the Duchess of Cornwall, was awkwardly refused a handshake during a royal engagement. Kate and her husband, Prince William, visited the Hayes Muslim. I guess it ... It must be something else to that. But anyway, that's unfortunate. But the good thing is, when telling the story, okay, Church Nelly. When telling the story, at least they put the filters back on for this one, right? Right. Maureen Reed, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching.
Royal Sussex.
And happy Saturday to you. And thank you so much for being here. And of course, thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Let me see here. Kate may not put a foot wrong, but she puts the rest of herself wrong all the time, dummy. Oh man. And of course, I take no pleasure in this, but they're always so critical. Like today, I heard Angela Latrine. She was on, oh gosh, what thing is that? Anyway, I saw her say, I saw Meghan leaving the women's shelter, and she had that smirk on her face, and she was smirking because she was celebrating her big win. I promise you, she said that Meghan was smirking. This is what she was speaking of. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what she was speaking of. Now, her interpretation of Meghan smiling on International Women's Day was Meghan smirking, you know? And obviously, Meghan is just happy to have been able to help the Harvest Home on International Women's Day. They had a pop up, uh, what do you call it? Like drive or something like that. I think the pop up was they found a space, a workspace, where people on her staff and volunteers were able to get some items together that was donated to the Harvest Home. I mean, look at there. She's folding clothes, and there's the piles of diapers and such. And these kits are going to go to a worthy cause. But while she was trying to be negative to the Duchess, none of the stories about the Duchess showing up, they said it was like some kind of luncheon. They focused on the luncheon and didn't really focus on the Harvest Home, which is a shame because it's an organization that has helped so many women and have brought up so much awareness in the community. And yet, what do they focus on? She says Meghan was smirking when she walked out of there. Well, that just goes to show that she ain't wrapped too tight, because this is the same woman who said that Archie had a camera hidden in his juice box, and they recorded the Queen and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Marshall, let's see. Marshall says all of that grinning and grinning and grinning that Kate does is causing her face to start to fold up. So she looked just like Camilla. Well, I think it takes a few packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day to get that Camilla look. I'm just saying. I think that comes from unfiltered cigarettes. Yeah, drawing on them squares all day is not healthy for you. So, yeah, but that's what Angela said on whatever show that was, and I thought that was just low down, accusing Meghan of smirking. And it's not the first time that Kate has actually. Well, if you guys remember this, when Princess Kate told Ireland belongs to the Irish by a woman during visit to Belfast, Irish woman was polite but to the point. During a walkabout in Belfast yesterday, Princess Kate was told Ireland belongs to the Irish by a woman in the crowd. Now, that was October of 2022. Now, remember, Kate and William are supposed to be very popular, right? And let us not forget that, well, anyway, I'm going to get to that. And I'm just pointing these things out, not to be petty, but just to be a little, excuse me, balanced, especially for the hate watchers, so they can see the other side of the story. Not everybody is in love with the Cambridges or the Waleses or whatever we're calling them now. Not everybody is in love with them. She never puts a foot wrong. She does it with her whole entire body. Woo! Dorothy Ross says, "Can you believe that Randy Andy intends to do another TV interview? If it is like the last time, it will only make things worse. Great news if it happens." Well, in worse, as in another train wreck. Well, Dorothy Ross, I saw that earlier and I wasn't sure what to make of it because I just don't want to believe it's true. I don't want to believe that he would dare put himself out there like that again. But we'll see. That's what they say. And the where is it? Oh, there it is. The palace sources are never wrong. Once those palace sources lock their teeth into it, they just don't let it go. As a matter of fact, because of the way the palace sources tend to lock their teeth into things, there was even interesting nickname that was given by Princess Diana about that very thing, about how once those palace sources lock their teeth into something, they just can't let go. You guys remember that? That was oh gosh, Princess Diana said that about the side piece, that once she locks her teeth into something, she never lets it go. Um, so far, I mean, if you look at how she has ascended to the highest possible position, no pun intended, that she could ever imagine having in life, then I would say that that's pretty accurate. Let me see. Uh, I'd rather hear it from Diana. Let me see if I can find Diana's exact word.
Fact that it somehow, in a roundabout way, allegedly led to the loss of the first, trying to rebrand loads of the collective characters, exception to your attitude from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This
Here
is
we
my
go.
own feelings being expressed the
The
only way
only
I
way
know
I know
how.
how. That is what Diana had to say about Camilla's tenacity, how she managed to claw her way to the top, how she catches hold of things and can never let go. I mean, you can twist and turn and snatch and grab, and she's still chomping at the bits. Let's see here. Baron, I'm thinking Kate takes a shot of vodka before every outing. The mediocrity is starting to get to her. It has to be pretty boring. And she has a bad case of the nerves. That is true. They don't need Kate anymore. She has provided them with the heir and two spares. Now William can move on to who he really wants to be with, just like his father did. Um, yes, exactly. So, as you can see, the British public is very forgiving. If they can look past Charles for everything that he's done, I have no doubt that William is only limited by his imagination. Okay, so here you can see now that your uncle is finally the Duke of Edinburgh. I hope people would stop confusing us despite the uncanny resemblance. Um, so there is a parody account for Prince William, and in that parody account, some of the darndest things are likely to pop up. Hey, Lucy Wynn, if Meghan was smirking, she wasn't. It would be even better because another American woman beat the Royals at their own game. A special shout out to Virginia. Well, thank you so much, Lucy Wynn, for that. Thank you for being here also. Let me see. Mary H says, Baron, maybe Kate Middlebaum was watching Duchess Meghan, copying her to see the man touch. Oh yeah, to touch Duchess Meghan. That's why it's wrong to copy. Yes, exactly. Try not to copy, and you won't get caught out like that. No doubt. Thank you, Big Mama. I'm having fun. Oh man. Yeah, Andy wants his last 15 minutes of fame before the coronation. Once King Charles is crowned, Andrew will be in the abyss. Exactly, because Charles, I believe, is slowly taking things away from him, and maybe not all of it is public. Um, and mind you guys, I didn't do anything to William's face. That is William. I did not texture or tone anything, if you get my drift. That is the real William. I have not touched anything. Shelly L says, I think Queen Camilla, they've been planning this in game ever since her great grandmother kissed the royal peepee. They just waited for a buffoon to be born, a carefully planted salt lick and viola. boy, and okay, boila. Okay, thank you so much, Shelly L, for that, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Shelly L, I have to add to that. Charles has even gone through the trouble to go and find the jewelry that was given to Camilla's great great grandmother, or yeah, great great grandmother, so that he could gift it back to Camilla so that it goes back into the family again. Um, this is right out of the Lord Louis Mountbatten playbook. Lord Mountbatten wanted to have one of his own in the royal family, and even to join the Mountbatten name to the royal family. And so Queen Elizabeth II refused to give up Windsor. And so they hyphenated the name. So Queen Elizabeth is a Windsor, but everyone else is a Mountbatten Windsor because the Queen recognized the game and refused to give in. So I know we all have a good laugh about the Queen not, always being so available, if you know what I mean. But there were a few points where she refused to yield, and one of which was her name. And so, even though Philip wanted the household named the Mountbatten, the House of Mountbatten, which is what Louis Mountbatten wanted, like the House of Hanover and such, or not Hanover, but the what was Queen Victoria? Well, anyway, but Queen Victoria, I'm not Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth was not giving up her name. And so for here on, yes, you can call the kids Mountbatten-Windsor, but I'm a Windsor. And if you notice, Windsor went absolute last instead of going before Mountbatten. It wasn't Windsor Mountbatten, it was Mountbatten-Windsor. So, but that was a plan by Louis Mountbatten, Uncle Louis, the perv, Uncle Louis. That was his plan to take over the royal household. It didn't work so well because Philip was, not really given as much authority as he wanted. And the same, goes now is that, as Shelley has pointed out, and that is quite brilliant, Shelley, that this all seems to have been a plan that was just waiting for a buffoon to make it to the throne so that her family and the ancestors that were deprived, because think about this, her great great grandmother would have loved to have been able to sit on the throne next to the love of her life, but that wasn't possible, not in those days. But fast forward to 2023, and it is about to go down. And as they say, the best laid plan. So it's part of her destiny. It was all part of the greater plan. It wasn't so much, they always loved each other. It was a matter that they both agreed to put things right in her eyes and possibly his as well. And so that's why it's happening. Thank you so much, Shelly L, because that is a very interesting bit of history and it is playing out in front of us. Yep, I believe it. Thank you very much for that. All right, so let me get this off the screen. The Sussexes. Oh, were we through with the other thing? Let me take a look. Professional construction grade knee pads. Oh, did I do that? Yeah. Knee pads for the side piece. Homilla, hard work is my simple guess, as it still stands upright. Otis professional. Oh man, thank you, Luli. Since Lord Baltimore and his heir and spare, I think that the whole Frogmore Cottage debacle was cover up to hide the fact that Wills wants a divorce, allegedly. Bet he's still pruning or pegging those rose bushes. Well, I mean, a lot is going to change in the next. I put it to you like this: if his father waited as long as he did to marry, William has already been given a plan to have exactly what you want the way you want it. The only thing is how, and also let's not forget Kim, what's her name? Kim Kardashian, not Kim Kardashian. What's the mama's name? Her alter ego, the Kardashian mama, and this one right here. I tell you what, if the end of the world was coming, there would probably be the two of them left, Kim K's mama and Ma Middleton. Between the two of them, it would be a battle to the death. And I'm not sure who would win. I'm not exactly sure. All I got to say is it's a good thing the Kardashians are in the United States, because if they were in the UK, the whole complexion of that family would have changed, much like it is today. Yep, I do believe that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add one more. This one, this one, and Kim K's mama. If you put all of them in a ring and tell them, you know, nobody is coming out of here alive but one person, I would hate to see what happens. I would hate to see what would happen. It would get nasty fast. Okay, let me I like this. A theory. Hey all, I am having a theory about the royal journalists are getting their ideas by reading out comments and twisting it backwards. Huh. Well, either that or they just wait for you wait for a member of the royal household, a senior royal, to call. I mean, why go through that trouble? All they have to do is, hello, senior royal here. That's all they got to do. They don't have to put anything backwards. Just wait for her to call. She's been reliable thus far. Baron, there was a doc on British TV on the Middleton family about their introduction into the royal family and what a great example they are as in-laws. Yet they had to mention Meghan just to dig. Exactly. Exactly. The only way that you can try to lift any of those people up is to try to put Meghan down. And of course, we all know the whole thing with the Markle side of the family. That is a creation of the Kensington crew. They're the ones that's responsible for that. If it wasn't for the connection between the senior royals, their aides, and the Markles, none of that stuff would have happened. Well, I'm sorry, I'm leaving out one of the more important things: the tabloid media. They all worked together to make the Markles a thing. They couldn't get to the black side of the family, and I don't doubt they tried. But the Markle side of the family, I wonder. I mean, just think about that. I mean, we haven't had this conversation in a long time, but what was it that Doria said or has done that the black side of Meghan's family has been the very model of decorum? And you never hear anybody celebrate the fact that they have actually been the very model of decorum, and they have not. What an uncle gave away some baby pictures. That's it. An uncle gave away some baby photos and gave a glowing nod to his niece. And that was the extent of what we've heard from the Raglan family. Whereas the other hand, you've had the Kensington crew, the tabloid media, and all the rest of the senior royals that have cultivated this thing with the Markles just to embarrass Meghan and try to prevent the wedding from happening, allegedly. Okay. That's not for me. All right. Let me move on. Okay. So the Sussex family. I love this collage. I didn't catch the name of the person, but someone on the social media put this together, and I think it is just wonderful. So I'll leave that there for a minute while I read some of your comments. Leg says, anyone else notice that in Spare, Harry highlighted Meghan's meeting Camilla and Charles? Then the next thing you know, everyone knows that Harry and Meghan were an item. Yes, yes. All it took was that meeting. The idea of any discretion, like with the like with the Raglan family, any discretion, like with the Markle family, why do I keep saying Markle? The Raglan family is unheard of. So yes, thank you so much for that, Legs. But given the timeline, and Harry, of course, didn't come out and say it. I mean, it's right there in black and white, as they say. But yes, thank you so much for that. Marshall says Meghan's black side of her family wouldn't team up with the colonizers. I'm sorry. Everybody in the black community would have even Pookie and Bebe. Not Pookie and Bebe. Pookie, Bebe, get in here. Baron, they are showing how graciousness is. Princess Meghan, through all of the hurt and frustrations, she has shown more grace than the royal family. Amen to that one. Let me see here. And Elaine Parker, oh, that's for someone else. All right. Okay. The white side of her family have been in prison. The sister, brother, both lost custody of their children. I wonder how can you raise your sister when you say I'm lost custody of all your kids. I have to say all of this is alleged, even though I've seen some paperwork that I could not verify online. But I have to say all of this is alleged until it all comes out in court. And when it does, I will be there to take some screenshots. But they have quite a past, the Markles. I've seen the brothers' mugshot. I've seen the sisters' court paperwork, if they are true, and of course all of the other stuff that's involved with Scamantha. So yes, newsworthy. I would say that is quite newsworthy. Thank you so much for your comment. Also, there's a documentary on the Middletons. I did not see that one. Actually, I have been saying that for the past few days, is that when they say that Camilla's kids are going to play a role and the grandkids, that means that they are going to be on the balcony. They are going to do a procession with the rest of the family. They are going to be in carriages on that day. So yeah, I am quite aware of the fact that they are going to play a role, means that Camilla, her children, and her grandchildren, and probably her ex-husband, all of them are going to be on the balcony. The press is going to spin it like it's the Brady Bunch, like it's the ultimate blended family. They're going to spin it like it's very modern, that you have this blended family, this non-traditional blended family, where the patriarch and the matriarch are both adulterers by day. Oh wait, head of the church by day and adulterers a lifetime. That is what they're going to spin. Is that, I mean, if this was anyone else, could you imagine how the tabloids would go on and on about two adulterers ascending to a throne? I don't care that they were in love and they couldn't marry because of conventions. I don't care. If they wanted Meghan to stay in there and just get on with it, even though she was being abused daily, if they wanted Harry to just get on with it, even though he had been pretty much neglected his entire life, and just get on with it, then I would expect Charles to have stayed with Diana, no matter how miserable he was, and just get on with it. But instead, he said that once the relationship became untenable, or whatever word he used, he decided that they just couldn't be together anymore. But that wasn't Diana's choice. That was his choice. So when they say that the Sussexes let the side down, he's the one who let the side down. He was supposed to stay in there and be as miserable as that rubbery face looks to us right now and just get on with it. But instead, he decided that he could have his cake and eat it too. So he got out. He got out. And then, of course, the mother of his children, who was dating a Muslim, somehow mysteriously died in a tunnel in Paris. And that way, we will never know what it's like to have a Muslim stepfather for the next king of England. Boy, did that solve a problem, didn't it? I'm just saying that's pretty much what it equated to. So when they say that the Sussexes are being spoiled and being a brat and that they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, Charles is the one who had his cake. He is. He's the one. Everything has gone his way. Years ago, there's no way in the world they would have put an adulterer on the throne. That just wouldn't have happened. The Duke, was it the Duke of Windsor? What was it, Edward the Seventh or whatever he was? He couldn't even marry Wallis Simpson, twice divorced. He had never been divorced. They weren't likely to have any kids, but that didn't matter. And half of the people in the public said, "Oh, let them be happy," but they wouldn't hear of it. And that whole thing about them being Nazi sympathizers, I'm going to tell you, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. You're calling him a Nazi sympathizer. You're calling Wallis Simpson a Nazi sympathizer. How about maybe they were on a mission for the royal household, for the British government? How about that? What if that's the real story? Instead of them being Nazi sympathizers. I think it just is too convenient to say that instead of remembering the fact. I mean, how much convincing did it take to get the Queen, her father, and her mother, and even her little sister to stand in the garden and do a Nazi salute? Were they Nazi sympathizers? I don't believe it. I promise you, I don't believe it. I think that is all contrived just for an excuse to have not let him marry Wallis Simpson. And that is a great excuse to allow him to marry his side piece. And then that way you could put the two adulterers on the throne. Well, at least it's not Wallis Simpson. See how convenient that is? I'm telling you, the fix is in. I really do believe the fix is in. And that's just the way I see it. I don't believe that whole thing about them being Nazi sympathizers. I think that was just something they made up. Anyway, Legs, I don't know if I said thank you, but thank you so much for your super chat. Legs, I tell you, every time you make a comment, you give me so much to build on. I'm very appreciative of that. But yeah, I'm just saying that is how I see it. I think that there was just a, I won't say a cover up, but I'm just not buying that whole thing because back in those days, there were a lot of people who were, shall I say, understanding or sympathetic to the Nazis. So why make an exception for one and a condemnation for another? Oh, did I just use a big word? Okay. What is that? Manetric Douglas, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Saturday to you. We got some 1,700 people in the live. Please make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed, do so today. And by the way, you guys, I know at the opening it says 7 million views. Well, I'm here to tell you that Royal Sussex is about 16 million views. 16 million views. And 500 videos or something like that? I have no idea, but it's a lot. All right, so let me see. Ooh, Vetty says, I wasn't going to watch it, but it was very interesting. Started with Carol and M, how they met, and then the kids, but didn't say Kate changed universities to chase Willie. Well, we may see something about that well, whenever the next Crown comes out. You know, I don't think a lot of people are going to watch the next season of The Crown because it was so disappointing last time. They really sold us a bill of goods. But in the filming, they had a scene, thank you, Vetty, where William turns to take a glance at Kate to, and that's supposed to be how they met and fell in love. It doesn't mention anything about her changing universities, crawling over hedges, swinging on a vine, and crawling up the lattice work to meet him. They omitted that part of the story, but instead, oh, she was just running past, her non existent bosoms bouncing in the air. And then, of course, he stopped and he turned to see if the rumors were true. And that is, back in school, they used to call her Kate Middlebum because she had this terrible habit of throwing her behind out of the window every time some boys went past. I'm just saying, that's what the book said. That's what the book said. I'm not making it up. Exactly, Bright Eyes PB and J. Two of his sisters were married to Nazis, and Philip actually went to the funeral of one of them. And if I'm correct, wasn't he wearing a Nazi armband or something like that? I mean, in the Crown, they made it seem so terrible and regretful for him, and I'm sure it was. I don't suppose that Philip was a Nazi. I don't suppose anybody in that family was a Nazi, and least of all, not the Duke of Windsor. I think that was just a convenient excuse to make a reason why he couldn't, or to, portray that as a reason why he could not be crowned the king. It's like, as they say, the victor writes the history. Whoever wins is the one who goes back and tells the story. So, whatever it is they say about the Duke of Windsor, this is through the eyes of the British tabloid media, writers that are sympathetic to the royal family, and of course, the royal family themselves. That's why I say I don't necessarily believe that. I don't know how true that is. I only know what they told me. But thank you for that. Baron, what if the real story is that the Windsors are the the true Nazis? Well, I mean, come on. What if that is the story? Um, I mean, what goes on inside of the what is that, where they wear the plumes and feathers and stuff? Baron, they were, both of them were Nazi sympathizers. They also met Hitler. That was not the reason he could not become king, though. But Lady Bird, I know they met Hitler. They shook hands. They were quite popular with the Nazis at the time. They were popular with everybody at the time. They were a hoot to have at a party. But yes, I mean, if you know of a better reason, but that is what they're telling us now, is like, ooh, ain't it a good thing we didn't let them get married? Because guess what? They were Nazi sympathizers. And of course, the twice divorcee Wallace Simpson. And of course, the other thing is the what do they call him? Birdie, the one who called the Queen's mama Cookie. He was a real people person. He was actually not as dumb as they try to make him out to be. He was actually a very learned man. He was an avid reader, and he could have done a lot, but he was too much labor and not enough Tory. And I think that was his downfall, because they knew that he was not interested in a job, especially the way the job was being carried out by the government. And who knows, he may have actually dissolved parliament and really made trouble for himself. But there's not just one reason why they disliked him. I think there were several. But the whole thing about them being Nazis, I'm just saying, I don't really buy that. Let me see here. It's too convenient. It is too convenient. Let me see here. Baron Elizabeth II would not have been queen if Wallace Simpson and Bertie were able to marry. Well, Sonia Johnson was was Wallace Simpson able to have kids? I mean, she didn't have any kids at all, and she had been married twice. So, what are the chances that they would have started a family? I mean, she wasn't exactly a teenager when they got married, so I doubt if they would have ever had kids. I mean, eventually the crown would have to go to the next person, and that would have been either his brother or Princess Elizabeth. So, and two, why did the brother and Cookie? Why did they stop with two girls? It seemed like they would have kept trying until they had a boy, right? But that didn't happen either. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that are in the history books, and then there's a lot of stuff we just don't know. And chances are, but anyway, thank you for your comment. We'll never know. Okay, let me move on here. Let me go back here, which is where I'm supposed to be. Let me see. William would never be allowed to divorce for the good of the state. It would serve no purpose. If William wants to have some fun, I'm sure that another marriage is not desired. Well, Gracie Lou, they seem as though they can't stand each other. They just can't stand each other. So I agree with you. It would be very awkward for there to be another divorce. However, I'm pretty sure that back in 1992, a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure, it was a horrible anus. My castle burned down, and 3 of my children's marriages ended in divorce. 1992. So I'm pretty sure that back in 1992, the Queen didn't see that coming either, but it happened. So I agree it would be very awkward, just like it was back in 1992. But whatever's going to be is going to be. I mean, if you would have told me back in 1981, when I woke up early in the morning to watch the wedding of the century, if you would have told me that that wedding was going to end in divorce, I wouldn't have believed it. But it happened. So I don't think you could take anything off the table. Let me see. The Archbishop of Canterbury refused to crown Wallace, and Parliament would not agree to a lesser title for her. Also, Bertie was Elizabeth's father. Ooh. Ooh. Hazel Jones, leave me alone. I haven't heard that. I don't know anything about that. Next, you're going to say that the Queen Mother's actual mother was a chef, and that's why they called her Cookie. Okay. I think as my chair squeaks like crazy, we have crossed the Rubicon. We have sunk into a new low. However, I love it. Woo! Woo! Is that why the Queen Mother hated Bertie so much? Is that why Bertie wasn't allowed back in the country? I wonder. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? That is very interesting. And of course, this is all just speculation. We really don't know what actually happened. We don't know if Cookie is Cookie because of that. We don't know any of these things, but it is very interesting to talk about. So thank you all for sharing. Um, oh my goodness, I hadn't thought about that one. Yes, that's right. I think Albert's nickname, Bertie, David was the ex-king married to Wallace. His name was Albert David something, this and that. But everybody called him Bertie for Albert. But I think it was David Albert something, this and that, something. And so his Regno name was George. Just like they asked the queen, did she want to have a different name to rule? And she said, no, let's not complicate things. Elizabeth will be just fine. She could have chosen Alexandra, or she could have chosen Victoria. She could have chose any of those traditional names for the women in the family, but since she was named Elizabeth, she decided to stay Elizabeth. Now, I don't know why she gave Charles the name Charles, considering the first King Charles was beheaded. The second King Charles ruled at a time of the plague and the Great Fire of London. But that was the name she chose. I don't know why. But yeah, so thank you for that. King Edward's nickname was David, and King George, Elizabeth II's father's nickname was Bertie. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I think that sounds right. Let me see here. That sounds right. You know, I always get mixed up with those names. I want to tell you right now, I always get mixed up with those names. Baron, you know that King George V was actually murdered by his doctor. Did you hear about that? Well, yes, I heard that they wanted his death to make the newspapers at a certain time. And so they asked the nurse to give him a lethal dosage of what I believe was the ingredient they used to put in Coca Cola, and also the ingredient that they use for pain. And she refused to do it. So one of his secretaries decided to give him the injection to the jugular. And so that way they were able to announce his passing at just the right time for the papers. So, yes, I did hear that before. Let me see here. Okay, so Bertie was George VI. His real name was Albert. That's what I thought. Then he changed it because Albert was too German. Thank you, Angela Bauman. Now that makes sense. And let's see here. Pam Porter says, Baron, Albert was Elizabeth's father. David was the older brother who abdicated as king. They both took Regno names. Okay. Uh, and Karuna Arena says, Baron, 1992, Anus Horribilis was karma served to the royal family for how despicably Edward and Mrs. Simpson was treated. The Queen Mom hated Wallace Simpson. Oh wow, Karuna. Well, thank you so much. I don't know how you was able to get word from Her Majesty from the other side, but thank you. And thank you, Your Majesty, for updating us because I wasn't sure. You're welcome. And thank you, Karuna Reina. I appreciate you taking the time. Oh man. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay, you guys. Let's go here. Melissa Murray, as you know, she is a squatty. Well, I don't know if she's a squatty, but she is a supporter of the Duchess of Sussex for sure. When are folks going to understand that I am not the one and that I have time today? So, as you can see over here, it says it was, oh, You know what? Let me try to do it like this so I could actually see what I'm looking at. There we go. I just found a way to make it bigger so I can see clearly. It says it was a title created by the late Queen for Philip. It was always to be just a lifetime title and not automatically passed down. If and when Edward dies, if and when, the title goes back to the crown, and whoever is on the throne then will decide who gets it next. And Melissa Murray says, not true. Philip was the fourth Duke of Edinburgh. The title was created by George I for his son Frederick. It was next held by the son of George III, and then by Alfred II, son of Queen Victoria. George VI bestowed the title on Philip at the time of his marriage to Elizabeth. And then Professor Murray goes on to say, and it has always been an inherited title. To be sure, the male line of the title holder may have died out, but when there was a male heir, it was passed down. Alfred's only son died in 1899, and the dukedom reverted to the crown upon Alfred's 1900 death. I can do this all day. So apparently, Shut Up Has Been is supposed to be some type of hate account against the Sussexes. And Professor Murray happened to catch that out the corner of our eye, I'm sure. And Professor Melissa Murray decided to give that individual the what for. And I say she did a magnificent job. So if you guys aren't familiar with Professor Melissa Murray, I think she's usually on, what is it, MSNBC? And she doesn't mince her words. As a matter of fact, let me share this with you.
Lightning round because I can't get it out of my mind. Melissa, to you first. I'm looking in the upper right hand behind you. Is that a giant picture of Meghan Markle? And I also want to know, on your pineapple pillow, what does it say?
So I think the pineapple pillow is a room raider pillow. And yes, that is a giant head of Meghan Markle.
That's fantastic. And to Jackie, you know the question coming.
So yes, that is Professor Melissa Murray. You guys, the derangers will lie. They will lie. They don't do the easiest possible research. So sometimes they're just ignorant. And when they're not ignorant, they will flat out lie. But you don't lie to Professor Melissa Murray because she has the Sussexes back, okay? So, as she says, I could do this all day. Now, Valentine Lowe, it could have been easily cleared up by the palace saying, we are waiting for Harry and Meghan to say what they want, or for the Sussexes to say what they have now said. Neither did anything until now. It makes you wonder what has been going on. Well, Valentine Lowe, with the face of a sinister slasher movie stalker. I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying he looks like one. And nobody owes you an explanation. Oh, and by the way, CC, I received a Cash App from you. Thank you very much. I forgot to mention that. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Saturday to you. But yes, no one owes you an explanation, old man. Whatever has happened, and you guys, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Because they're not talking does not mean that notes or memos are not exchanged between the households. They're just not having face-to-face conversations. And again, there is negotiation about whether or not the Sussexes are going to go to the coronation, or as someone called it earlier, con-a-nation. Whether or not they're going to con-a-nation is going to be decided by negotiation, just like with the Jubilee. So when they feel like things are as favorable as possible, I mean, think about it. They could not negotiate the funeral. That just happened. But as for the Jubilee, aside from a few other things that was out of control, I think that went off without a hitch. And why is that? Because the Sussexes or Prince Harry was able to negotiate. So with this situation of going to the coronation, again, there is going to be clear negotiation. One thing that has been in Prince Harry's favor for years is that in order to make this legitimate, he needed not only the support of him, but he also needed the support of Harry. And you don't get Harry's support if Harry's wife is not included. Now, there was a lot of messiness that revolved around the Queen's funeral. Well, that was kind of like a last minute thing. But if you want the Sussexes there, and trust me, Charles wants them there. Charles does not want them there to just humiliate them. He wants them there because the support from the young, the support from a lot of people who would consider themselves anti-monarchy, you're not going to convince those people that the monarchy makes any sense, but perhaps you will neutralize a lot of bad feelings if you can get the Sussexes to show up. That's it. Maybe you can actually draw an audience to this fiasco if you can get the Sussexes to show up. So it's not as though it's a win-win for Charlie. There's plenty of leverage on Harry's side. So, not to mention 400 pages that didn't make it into the first book. So, Valentine Lowe, I think he's onto something. I think he is very justified by asking what is going on. But I'm also going to say it's none of your flipping business what's going on. Stick to your gossip or whatever it is you write. Most of us were not wondering what is going on. Mr. Downlow, we understand the letters patent and knew the wee Sussexes got their promotion on the same day their sorry grandpa got his recognized. Come on, Diane Hawkins. Come on. You are absolutely right. That is also the unvarnished, not also, but that is the unvarnished truth. The kids were already prince and princess. I don't know what his beef is. I really don't. They could have been easily cleared up. He was probably hoping that the kids would have their titles taken away. That's all. He was hoping that Charles would never recognize them as prince and princess. That's what the problem is. He's upset because the Sussexes came out and said that, yes, that is prince and princess. And he's upset because he never wanted to see that day happen. And it did happen and it's over and done with. So now what? What's up? That's the problem. He did not want it to happen. He's one of those people that have flooded greater London or wherever he lives with tears of sorrow over the fact that Archie and Lilibet Diana are now prince and princess officially. It has been officially mentioned by the parents and it has been officially accepted by the crown. And he doesn't like it. He just did not want to see this day coming. But it's here. 'Tis here. As a matter of fact, there is the line of succession. The Prince of Wales, George, Charlotte, Louis, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and of course, Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. new titles, new names, new everything. So it's just, it's interesting that some of these people are just not taking it so well. Have you noticed that? What is their problems? They're just not taking it well. The Bishop of Los Angeles went to Montecito and did the deed. And then, of course, I hear that the Diana's sisters were at the Sussex house. Did you guys hear that? That Diana's sisters were there. Yes, the rest of the family didn't want to show up, not the the Windsor side, but the sisters of Diana were there. And just in case there's any mistake, the blood of the Spencers are far more royal and far more English than that of the Windsors, of the German side of Harry's family. They are far more English. Harry is more English than his daddy. His daddy's more German. Nothing wrong with that. But his daddy just happens to be way more German than he is English. And Harry happens to be way more English than otherwise. So there you go. So Valentine Lowe, what could I say? Those kids just happen to be far more English than Charles. So they should be prince and princess. Duh. Duh. Oh boy, silly wabbit. Tricks are for kids. Tricks are for kids. Silly wabbit. Okay. Thank you, Noby D. Let me see here. I want Meghan and the kids to go be on the balcony. I want Meghan to wear those tiaras and overshadow Kate with her beauty. Well, Lady Bird, I almost hate to say this because I know that the tabloids are listening. Because remember when I said that thing about Harry getting a Grammy and it was in the papers the next day? I know they're listening. And so I almost hate, oh, I'm not going to say it. All right. Nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait. But I do have a prediction, but I'm going to wait. But it has something to do with the Sussexes making an appearance. I think it is going to be magnificent in its simplicity, but it's going to be magnificent. But I'm going to keep it to myself for now. Shelly L says, yeah, the derangers are always making up stories and getting it wrong. That's because their Google search only lasts as long as they're on the toilet. Do you remember one of those derangers got stuck on the toilet and had to call the police to get her out of there? I'm not saying the name of that deranger because I don't want her coming after me. But there was this one deranger that has a bunch of burner accounts on Twitter, and she rolled in the bathroom one day and got stuck on the toilet because her boyfriend would not come and get her. So I'm not saying who, but y'all know who it was. Let me see here. Baron Charles Spencer is not attending the coronation. He said royal events don't excite him. Prince Harry's aunties and Lady Jane and Lady Sarah attended Princess Elizabeth's christening in Montecito. I did hear about that. I can't confirm it, just like I can't confirm that there was a choir, but that is what it has been said. The thing is, it's kind of hard to know exactly what is true because the Sussexes live in Montecito. And as we know, in Montecito, there are no leaks in Montecito. So it's kind of hard to say. But I am going to just assume that it's quite likely that they were there. And maybe it wasn't even the first time they've been. As a matter of fact, it may be very difficult to get them out of California. I mean, after all, the weather is so well. I know they've had some rain, and stuff, but if they were there on a good day, I'm telling you, they wouldn't want to leave. They do have a guest house. Oh man, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. There were 30 people there. There's no reason to believe that the sisters were not there, and they love Harry. Oh, the Sussex Royal Court. I love that Harry and Meghan bargaining position has them crying. That move was chess, not checkers. Love it. Thank you so much, Sussex Royal Court. And thank you so much for the super sticker. And you guys, don't forget, there is another Sussex friendly channel, and it is called the Sussex Royal Court. So make sure you go over there, like, share, and subscribe so that we can build our Sussex friendly community. And I promise you guys that there is going to be a lot of people searching the interweb during the coronation. And they're going to be looking for information, positive information about the Sussexes. Everyone's subscriptions grew at the time of the Queen's funeral. And I have a feeling that it is going to be a very busy time during the coronation. So help these channels grow now so that the algorithm will help people looking for positivity about the Sussexes find those spaces. Amen. Amen. Thank you again. And let's move on, you guys. Omid Scobie says, dignified silence. Well, as you know, they love to say that the royal family is going to maintain a dignified silence. Well, it sounds to me like somebody's been briefing again. Royals plan to give Harry and Meghan the cold shoulder at coronation and hope they are seated in Iceland. Ha ha ha. Duke and Duchess will have no place on balcony, and family members don't want to social see with them, says friends. Now, I told you sometimes the Daily Mail is so anxious to try to hurt Meghan and Harry that they are apt to have quite a few typos. So, can you explain to me what social see, social see? Can you explain to me what social see is? Social see, social say, social see. What is that? Is that old English or what? Are they trying to say they don't want to socialize with them? I'm telling you, the Daily Mail is so full of typos and grammatical errors, and you know it's bad if I can see it. Usually I don't recognize nothing. But if I can find those typos, then you know you're messing up. And then also, you can see here, Sophie relief that she won't have to curtsy to Meghan. Um, I don't recall at any time and place where anybody ever curtsied to Meghan. Do you guys recall a curtsy to Meghan? Now, I've seen members of the public curtsy to her, but I have never seen anyone else in that family curtsy to the Duchess of Sussex. Now, it is true that Meghan outranked her, and I'm not sure that she still doesn't outrank her. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, or for the sake of conversation, rather, at this time, maybe they're equals, but only in Sophie's eyes, because I promise you, Sophie is only just now becoming a duchess. And yes, her husband is the son of a monarch, but he's the brother of a monarch too. But Harry's father is on the throne, not her husband's, and certainly not hers. So I don't know what the pecking order is for that, and I really don't care. But I hope that Sophie has learned her lesson with those glaring looks and the side eye and stuff like that, because the last time that happened, she was stuck in some twilight zone where she was not able to get the what do you call it? The titles that were promised to her back in 1999. And even when Philip died, she still didn't get them. Now, she only just got them. Now, if I was Ford Fiesta, I would cool my jets and just be glad and grateful for what I have rather than, to try to get cute and try to do the side eye and stuff like that because you only just got there, boo. You only just got there. So don't get cute. Don't get cute because you ain't too far from where you left off. You still got to walk behind your sister in law. You still look like the woman from the Dust Bowl era. You still dress like somebody's thrift store model. So, but anyway, so she's gotten a what do you call that? An upgrade. She's gotten a promotion, but she's still got to spend the rest of her life walking behind Wadey Katie, walking behind the English Rose. That's what she's going to be doing. Meghan is going to be out in California writing books, doing podcasts, producing a series, and all that kind of stuff. And what will she be doing? Hoping that Charles doesn't take something away, like their house. The house is leased. It is a crown property. And if Charles can kick him out, Charles can kick her out too. So she's not free and clear just yet. So I would keep it cute. You and your non-binary spouse just hang in there, because Charles is shady, very shady. All right. Let me see here. Let me see. I don't want them to go. Prince Harry should purchase Princess Meghan and Princess Lily tiaras for the House of Sussex. If Meghan would ever want to wear one. Let me see here. Lily's christening was catered affair, and nobody had to eat their meal in the backyard with plates balanced on their knees like Harry used to do when living in Notcott. Very true. Okay. All right, so let's move on. You guys, this is a cautionary tale. I'm not trying to out anyone. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. But if you are using a toxin to alter your appearance along with fillers, be very careful, because things can and will go wrong. Now, there's only a 1% chance that you could be stuck with this face, but it does wear off. That's the important thing. Oh, by the way, Panther 325, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex, and happy Saturday to you. But yes, I just want to point out that nothing is certain. Now, I'm not saying that this has happened to anyone that we know, or that it will happen again. I'm just saying that this is one of the side effects. This is one of the hazards of trying to alter one's appearance or trying to smooth out one's look or something like that. So, and that's it. I'm not associating this with anyone, certainly not anyone that has been the topic of today's conversation. But yeah, when there's a 1% chance of getting, what is that? Whatever it is. Let me see. Yeah, that could happen. And also, I'm hoping that these photos will explain a lot. There may be some of us who have seen these type of symptoms and wondered where it came from. Well, I hope this explains a lot. Okay, now you guys, I posted this on the what was that? On the community tab. I was curious about Harvest Home, right? Where new lives begin. Dear Baron, thank you for your donation of $20.53 to the Harvest Home on 3/9/2023. 2023. We greatly appreciate your financial gift, which enables us to carry out our mission of equipping and empowering homeless pregnant women to become great moms. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do what we do without you. With joy and gratitude, Sarah Wilson, Executive Director, Harvest Home. So, this is what I want you guys to know. You can actually put your donation in the names of Harry and Meghan, which is what I did. I made my donation in the name of Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. And that is how they thanked me for it. So, if you guys choose to make a donation, go to the community tab, which you will see at the top of the menu when you're on the Royal Sussex channel, and you can find the link. Oh, thank you, Lydia. Okay, I'm posting the link to the top of the thing right now. There it is. That is the link to the Harvest Home. You can go there and you can make a donation. Now, I'm toying with the idea of doing a monthly donation. You could do that where you can do $5 a month, $10, $20, whatever you can afford. You can do a monthly donation to the Harvest Home. So I haven't decided the amount yet, but I'm definitely going to do a monthly in the names. Actually, you could actually do it in Baby Archie, and well, he ain't a baby no more, is he? Or you can do it in Lily Diana's name. You could do it in both their names. There's room enough for both names. So if you go over there and you choose to do that, just an idea. Or if you want to put it in your kids' names, your mom or dad's name, you could do that too. But for effect, I am going to use the Sussexes because that is just my preference. So anyway, there is a space for it. I have found it myself. So if you want to make a donation to the Harvest Home, you can just go over there. You can even do it right now and make your donation. The link is at the top of the chat. Also, you guys, Shelly L says, Baron, I love Harry and Meghan as much as you, but I am going to claim those tax deductions for myself. Thank you. I don't know why you couldn't claim the tax deductions for yourself. I mean, you could put it in their name, but as you can see, the thank you letter came to me, right? So I did put it in their names, but the thank you note was for me. But the entire, this is just part of the email I received. So the email mentions that it's for Harry and Meghan, but the tax deduction will go to me because I donated the money. So you're only putting it in their names, but you're not pretending to be Harry and Meghan. You got to use your financial information, but I understand what you're saying. But yeah, you'll get your deduction. So there you go. And thank you so much, Shelly L. YM Droid says, where do we donate to old horses asking for a crown? I suppose that if you want to donate for an old horse, you can go to the ASPCA. Is that what they call it? You could go there. I know there is a place where they adopt old greyhounds, but as for old farm horses, I'm not sure exactly what happens. Although there was a scene in The Godfather when that guy woke up with a horse head in his bed, but but thank you so much, YM Droid. I'm going to sort that out, I promise. By the next time I come back, I will have a proper answer for you. But as for now, I would say try one of the the animal shelters in your community, and you could put it in. Oh, man. Okay, so you guys, that is your homework. You could decide later. You can do like I did and just do a donation for now, and then decide if you want to do something on a monthly basis. But you can put it in the name or dedicate it to someone like I did, and that of course would be the Sussexes. And as you know, Harvest Home transforming the lives of homeless pregnant women and their children. Okay, you guys, some good news. Actually, some great news. Check it out. Penguin Random House, the World Central Kitchen Cookbook. Feeding Humanity, Feeding Hope by Jose Andreas and the World Central Kitchen, forward by Stephen Colbert with Sam Chappelle, Sokol. Yes, this is the World Central Kitchen Cookbook. Come on, the World Central Kitchen Cookbook. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad to be a part of your workday. I'm always happy to hear that. I'm so glad to be a part of your workday. So, let me share with you some information about this cookbook. I don't know. I will probably get it because I think it supports a worthy cause. So I just have to get it, don't I? Let's see. About the World Central Kitchen Cookbook, a captivating collection of stories and recipes from renowned chef, local cooks, and celebrity friends of Jose Andreas, beloved nonprofit World Central Kitchen, the WCK, which feeds communities impacted by natural disasters and humanitarian crises, with a forward from Stephen Colbert. Now that's got to be interesting. In their first cookbook, World Central Kitchen shared recipes inspired by many places they've cooked following disasters, as well as inspiring narratives from the chef and volunteers on the front line. Photographs captured throughout the world highlights communities and hope, while stunning food photography showcases the mouth-watering recipes. Each chapter reflects a value of the organization. Urgency focuses on food that can be eaten on the go, including the La Majun flatbread, served after a devastating explosion rocked Beirut in 2020. In hopes, oh, I didn't know they went to Beirut in 2020. You guys remember that? When they had that big explosion in that warehouse? It was like fertilizer. In hope, readers will find soups, stews, and comforting meals such as Ukrainian borscht served to families living through an unthinkable invasion, and chicken chili verde prepared for Californian firefighters. Famous World Central Kitchen supporters have shared recipes too, like breakfast tacos from Michelle Obama and a lemon olive oil cake from Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Oh, I know I'm getting it now. Other contributors included Marcus Samuelson, Aisha Curry, Reem Assil, Brooke Williamson, Emerald Lagasse, Tyler Florence, Guy Ferreri, Sanjeev Kapoor, and Eric Adjapong. The World Central Kitchen Cookbook, Feeding Humanity, Feeding Hope, is a celebration of dignity and perseverance, and about building longer tables, not higher walls. All authors' proceeds from the World Central Cookbook will be used to support World Central Kitchen's emergency response effort. There you go, you guys. So you have gotten a whole bunch of good reasons why you should order this book. So I am definitely going to get it because now I know that the lemon olive oil cake that Meghan, remember she sent that cake? Now that I know that recipe is in there, I am going to buy the book. So here is the information. You can buy it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, bookshop.org, Hudson Booksellers, Powell's, Target, and Walmart. So there you go. And that was a tweet earlier from Chef Andreas. Tweet came out today. People of the world, today is a very special day for me and the World Central Kitchen, full of delicious recipes and stories from places we've cooked. Guatemala, Ukraine, Bahamas, World Central Kitchen, first ever cookbook is ready for pre-order today. It will be available September 12th. So, got to wait for it. Sorry about that, but you do have to wait for it. worldcentralkitchen.org cookbook order. So there you go. You can get your book on just like we did with Harry's book. So think about it. You got plenty time. Kathy Rose Lou, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Darlene Cotton says, Baron, I've already let me see. I'm sorry. I've read Andrew have threatened to write a tell-all if he don't get to keep the Royal Lodge and his upkeep costs. Well, I was going to get to that very soon, but thank you so much for the comment. Thank you very much for the comment. And let me see here. Okay. All right. I thought I had skipped ahead too far or something, but there you go. So, from the Ministry of Propaganda, also known as BBC, I wonder if that's what BBC means in Latin, Ministry of Propaganda. Anyway, from the Ministry of Propaganda, check it out. The BBC has decided to not broadcast an episode of David Attenborough's flagship new series on British wildlife because of fears its themes of destruction of nature would risk a backlash from Tory politicians and the right-wing press. Isn't that something? You mean to tell me Sir David Attenborough, one of the Queen's best friends and one of the few people who have survived, longer than the Queen, do you mean to tell me that Sir David Attenborough's show is not going to be broadcast because of fear that they will put the noses out of joint of the Tories? Isn't that interesting? Exclusive, Prince William's urgent plea to save planet in landmark series with David Attenborough. Well, the royal appeal from the Duke of Cambridge to create a different future for our children and grandchildren as he joins legend Sir David Attenborough in new documentary series. So isn't it something that if Prince William thought it was a good idea, he would join in? Or is it that Prince William is not in this one because of the Tory influence? That's interesting. I wonder what that really means. Well, I know this much. The influence from the Tories upon the BBC, which is supposed to be neutral and for the greater good of the public, seems to have run its course. And now they are terrified, which is why someone has referred to them as the Ministry of Propaganda. Like, doesn't Nicholas Witchell, doesn't he work there? Now, you guys, this is so unhealthy. Needs intervention. Know the signs. Brow scrunched, tight jaw. As a matter of fact, those are just a couple of symptoms. I think there is another. Oh, crazy eyes. There it is. Crazy eyes. Pursed lipped, tight jaw, crazy eyes. Oh, and there. So yeah. This is one twisted sister right here. Harry and Meghan are learning that Hollywood only respects real royalty. The Sussexes could do worse than attending the coronation, if only to show Tinseltown that they are still still have a part to play in British history. Little girl, let me tell you something. The Sussexes got better things to do than to go to a bunch of Hollywood parties. Some of you guys know a little bit about Hollywood, and you don't have to know a lot, but check this out. Most people that are not being awarded do not show up at these um, award shows. They don't show up at certain parties. They don't do a lot of things unless they are in line for an award. They will show up, their families will show up, the whole team of producers and writers, all of those people show up. But usually, if you ain't got nothing coming, you don't show up. You just don't show up. Those events are for the people that are being directly affected by the award show. They're winners. You know what I'm saying? They are producers. They are the writers. They are the directors. Those are the people that show up. So it's not like, oh, I just saw so and so at the Oscars. Even Meryl Streep doesn't show up unless Meryl is expecting something. It's not that kind of thing. I know people say, oh, it's the hottest ticket in town. But for people in the industry, it's just another night out. It's a whole lot of fuss for somebody who may not win something anyway. So the Sussexes are not doing all these red carpets. Most people don't do all the red carpets. A lot of people turn down award shows and party invitations every day. And if this crazy person with that abnormally long face thinks that she is onto something, this is just an excuse to write something about the Sussexes. If they produced every invitation that they have received, I'm sure that it would stack up to the ceiling. But Meghan is not starstruck. Harry is not starstruck. They meet people when they meet people. They go places where they can be useful, where they have a purpose. But then that describes most of Hollywood. Gene Hackman was seen for the first time in 20 years. Gene Hackman has not been seen publicly, has not been photographed since 2004. When his career was hot, when he was making a lot of movies, he went to all these events. But there's a lot of big name people that don't show up. They do it out of obligation because the studio wants them to go. And they hire seat fillers. And I'm saying this for, people that are not in the US and maybe, you don't know how it works, but once people receive their awards, they disappear. They go and get their names on it, and then they go to a party. And in order to make the room look busy, they actually hire people in tuxedos and in gowns to replace individuals once they leave their seats. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal for people that are not in the industry. But for people who live out there, for the rich people, for the famous people, or the executive producers like the Sussexes, it's not a big deal. Meghan is the most Googled, is the most photographed. Well, I can't say photographed because she doesn't come out that much, but she's the moment. If she wants to go to this stuff, she would go. But there's no point to go. It would look bad if you did go every place you were invited to, not the other way around. If she had something to prove, she would, or she might, but she's not because she doesn't have to prove anything. So, duh. Oh, this person, yeah, she is a lying piece of crap. Leg says, how would she know what's happening in Hollywood? Number one. Number two, what about Marlon Wayans rather? And number three, you should tell that to the Bostonians during the Earth flop. Legs, I told you we have this connection, you and I. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'll get to it. So take a look here. Now, I'm only able to do this based on landmarks around Camilla Tominey. And so I can gauge from certain items or landmarks or structures exactly what I'm seeing. And so my best guesstimate is from chin to hairline, there is a space of a whopping 21 inches. That is a whole lot of face for somebody who don't make a whole lot of sense. You got me? I mean, when you got that much face, that means you should have a big brain. And if you have a big brain, then you should have a lot of sense. But since you do have the mass, I'm just going to say that's all you have. But as for any knowledge, as for any brain matter that makes a difference, not so much. You tripping, boo. You tripping. Okay, so as I was just saying to Legs, take a look here. Why Prince William and Kate were booed on their U.S. trip? I wonder why. Basketball snub occurred just hours after royal family's latest controversy unfolds on home soil. Lady Susan Hussey, blah, blah, blah. And then they go over there and people in the audience booed them. Watch Prince William and Kate Middleton get booed at Boston game. And even the New York Post, which I do believe is a Murdoch paper, Prince William and Kate mocked with U.S. chants boos at Celtics game. Nobody was interested and nobody cared. It was like a big fat nothing burger. Remember, this was supposed to be the Olympics of environmentalist movement, whatever, galas. This was supposed to really put Earth Flop on the map. And notice, we haven't heard anything about Earth Flop since. Bostonians take on the Royals' whirlwind visit, whatever, as breathless online commentary tracked the royal couple's every move during their visit. Swaves of their host city remains unimpressed. Thank you, New York Times. So they went to a local pub in Boston, and the people were like, who? Oh, I ain't got time for that. It was like nobody cared. I mean, look at the monitors. It looks like they're looking at a 3-alarm fire. They ain't paying no attention to the Cambridges. And that's what they were at the time, the Cambridges. And it gets better. Ann Walsh, a lifelong resident of Dorchester neighborhood, said that she would not go out of her way to see the royal couple, but they are genuinely charming. And this, of course, credits Sophie Park for the New York Times. So that was a reporter from the New York Times who, I guess, was asking people randomly what they thought about the big visit. Well, they didn't think so much of it. A lot of people didn't even know what was going on. So, duh, who cares? And then, of course, I'm going to put it to you like this. Most people are pretty blasé about the Cambridges. And I would grant you, seeing Kate is about the equivalent of seeing a windsock. It's like quite a curiosity at first. And then after a while, you just get this weird thing wiggling in the corner of your eye, and you don't really know what it is. And then you turn around again, and you say, oh, God, those windsocks are so stupid. Well, I'm sure the same thing happens whenever the Cambridges come around. They are a curiosity at best. But aside from that, what about William being booed at the, what was it? at the soccer game that he went to, well, football game, but when he went to, was it Liverpool? Didn't they boo him up there? I mean, I don't get this. Oh, Kate is popular, William is popular, the Sussexes are not. Nothing could be further from the truth. How about this? If they would not have driven Meghan out of Narnia, the one thing Meghan could have done for Kate that even her mama ain't been able to help her do, Meghan could have taught her how to walk. Instead of walking with the back of her hands leading her along the way. I mean, that's so weird she does that. But notice how when she walks, the back of her hands are facing forward. I think that's very strange. And then, like right here, duh, hello. Hi. Maybe, Megan could at least have instructed her how to walk like a lady, how to move like a lady. That much she could have gotten from her sister in law, but instead they drove the Sussexes out of Kensington Palace and then eventually out of the country. And so, since they drove the Sussexes away, there's nobody to teach her how to walk, how to talk, how to deal with a crowd. And so there she is, still lumbering along like some old sedan. Real shame. There was so much she could have learned from Meghan, like how to put on makeup and how to walk, how to be a lady, how to be poised and elegant. But instead, you have this rather athletic, this very, maybe Meghan could have taught her some yoga. You know what I mean? Or is it Pilates? If Meghan would have had a chance to, like, lay out those yoga mats with her, maybe she could have learned. Maybe she wouldn't be so stiff. I don't know, but there was a lot to learn. But as you can see, Kate is still, and that one photo with that green is so plastic, isn't it? And look at what is she doing with her hands? Why does she wring her hands like that? When she doesn't have that clutch, she starts wringing her hands and twisting those little gnarly fingers. Very strange. But Meghan is the one that has a problem, right? This is Kate, but Meghan is the one that has a problem. Meghan is the one nobody likes. Meghan is I don't know. She's just all wrong and not really suited for the work. And Kate, who never puts a foot wrong, is the one that everybody should look up to. I would say listen to, but you know how that goes. So I'm just going to leave it with look up to. So I guess the choice is simple. Meghan's in the U.S., where everything is bright and sunny and beautiful for her. Harry looks more rested and more. Harry just looks blessed, right? They both look blessed. But the Cambridges, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. They're so unsure. And honestly, they're the ones nobody really likes. I'm just going to say it. People don't like them. So, hate listeners, I'm just telling you, it's not so much that you love the Cambridges, but a lot of y'all are just racist and you just hate Meghan because she has outdone the English Rose and she's married the most eligible bachelor, and all of those things really bother you. I can understand that. But stick with Kate and see where that takes you. Someone who could take a plain brown coat and make it look awful. I mean, how do you mess up this? How do you mess that coat up? How do you take a coat like that and ruin it? She even buying old, she's even buying new old outfits. Her spending is out of control. All of the money that she spent And this is what happened. And again, look at the walk. Look at how she struts. See what I mean? Back of the hands forward. Just so odd. So odd. And this is the one everybody wants their daughters to emulate her. I mean, does everybody want their daughters to throw their behinds out of a second floor window? Is that what we want for our kids? Is if you because if you want to be like the newly minted Princess of Wales, you have to wait until you see some boys coming down the street, and then you just throw your bum out the window. That's what they say. Is instead of um, meeting world leaders, speaking at the United Nations Women's Council or whatever, instead of doing that stuff, throw your bum out the window. That way, you too can be a future Queen of England. That is the lesson learned. Go outside and let the back of your dress blow over your shoulder and blow up against the back of your head, and then keep pretending like it's an accident, or just keep pretending like, oh, I didn't know it was so windy today. I mean, that was old. That was old the second and third time it happened. But these are just a handful of photos that happened again and again. Very respectable. Very respectable. Okay. Mediocre Middleton, do the bare minimum and people will applaud you. Yeah, people will applaud you. You will be a legend of the houndstooth if you're Kate Middleton. But if you're Meghan and you have worked hard, you have shared and worked with others, you have motivated, you have tried to uplift everyone in your circle and uplift strangers, then of course you're the villain. But if you're Kate and you chase a boy from one school to the next, or you throw your behind out a second floor window, you could be queen. I mean, I don't see why not, but you can be queen. So I'm just saying, I'm just trying to set the record straight because I'm tired of the nastiness toward Meghan, and people want to ignore and forget this stuff. And here they have to make up stuff about Meghan. You don't even have to make this up. The tabloids spoke about it for years, but now all of a sudden we're supposed to forget it ever happened. Not if I have anything to do with it. So again, Meghan could have helped her. Could have helped her pick shoes. Could have helped her pick a coat, a dress, pants, trousers, whatever. Meghan could have helped, but because they drove the Sussexes away, they are going to be stuck with mediocre Middleton. So whether it's the muscular, veiny arms or those swan-like black gloves, have it, because we'll keep the Sussexes over here. So, all right, that was that bit of shade. King Charles blocks Andrew's £32,000 a year bill for live-in yoga guru, telling younger brother to pay himself. Now, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. This is a thing. And I don't suppose that the tabloids or anybody made it up. I think this is true, that Charles had to put a stop to it. Prince Andrew had submitted a £32,000 annual yoga fee to Privy Purse, expecting it to be given the green light without any further questions. But King Charles, Andrew's older brother, has told him that he has to pay for the live-in yoga instructor himself. The Duke of York has been using the yoga teacher for several years, the Sun reported. The guru comes to live with Andrew in the Royal Lodge for a month at a time. It doesn't say months, it just says month at a time. The instructor, a man, is said to work with Andrew using chanting, massages, and holistic therapy. The Queen used to sign off on the yoga bill every year, but Charles is proving more. What is that? Wait a minute. I never mind. Per, that word with the royal purse strings. Purse, whatever. The king has reportedly told Andrew that indulgences such as the expensive yoga instructor are hard to justify in the era of belt tightening among the British public at large. Now, this is a nice way to get people to say, oh, well, if Charles is doing all that, that 32,000 pounds that we save could more than cover the price of a big, lavish coronation, right? Wrong. That is just a flash in the pan. Believe me, for every dollar that he's taken away from his brother, Charles is going to reallocate that dollar or pound someplace else. Katie Rose Lou says Kate leads with her knuckles like stew. Thank you so much, Katie Rose Lou. But yeah, she does kind of lead with her knuckles, doesn't she? It's very weird. I was wondering, I couldn't really tell you what I was looking at, but I'm just like, what is it? What what is she doing? Why is she like, duh? Well, yeah, I noticed that she does tend to lead with her knuckles. But if there was someone that was close that could have maybe helped her iron out some of those deficiencies, but instead, they drove Meghan out of the country. So, um, oh well, I guess Meghan has to be satisfied being a girl and Kate being Kate. Uh, oh man. All right, thank you so much for the super chat and thank you for watching. Shame on them. Well, this is the way that the Sussexes have been treated. Whatever Andrew wants to do, they pretend as though he's actually being penalized in some kind of way, but he still has excuse me, he still has his titles. I haven't heard about them going into abatement. He still have his horses, his security. He still has the Royal Lodge at £1,000 a month. That's £250 a week. All of that for £250 a week. Most people in central London should be so lucky to have a house that large with round the clock security and see, that's why when they say the royal family only cost £100 million a year, that's a big lie. The truth is they cost £350 million a year, because it's one thing to have a personal bodyguard, however much that costs, royal protection. But believe me, you guys, there is a lot of money that is being spent on their security. And dare I say, a huge portion of the spending on the royal family has to do with guarding people and property, even when they're not around. My Duke and I, Anita, thank you so much for being here. You guys, Anita of My Duke and I has a channel. It's called My Duke and I. And Anita is absolutely fabulous. She's the one that I turn to when my nerves needs to be calmed. She helps me to start my day, as a lot of times she has something on very early in the day. So if you are a morning person, you probably better check out Anita of My Duke and I, because it's a great way to start your day. So thank you so much for being here. Hello, Lady Bird. I know, with a man, what does this yoga entail, I wonder? Entail, I think it's all in the words, isn't it? What does this yoga entail? With an E, of course. Let me see here. Oh, TR C-Rug, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right, so let me do this. Anyway, you guys, I'm just about done. If you are up late, please get yourself some rest because I'm just about done. I'm going to close out here with the cutest little dumplings you ever see. Look at them. They're just as cute as some little dumplings, aren't they? Just as cute as they can be. Someone decided that Meghan seems to do something wearing black that a lot of us have overlooked. So they created this collage of photos. So this was on the social media earlier. And there you go. You can see Meghan in black. And speaking of Women's History Month, someone who has made history again and again, Angela Bassett, you can see all of the different characters that she's played. Well, way more than that, but there's just a handful. So check it out, Angela Bassett. This is another little something. I don't know who put this together, but I love it. And of course, as always, I always send out my prayers and thanks to our Queen of Hearts, Princess Diana, and our queen of just about everything I could think of, Queen Doria. So with that, you guys, I am done. Oh, except for one thing. Nas Singby, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Notice the images there on the left side. I don't know where those came from. Was that in a docu-series? Wherever it comes from, I never seen them before, so that's why I'm sharing them with you. So the two images on the left, obviously, they're backstage at the NAACP Awards that first year that they attended together. So I'm sharing that with you because I've never seen it before, but it looks very cool. So I thought I would share it with you. And then on the right, of course, you saw those three photos. And now I'm done. So I'm going to leave it with our darling children. There you go. Archie and Lily. Prince and Princess Archie Mountbatten-Windsor, or Archie of Sussex, and Lily Diana Mountbatten-Windsor, or Lily of Sussex. Anyway, Lilybit of Sussex, I'm sorry. But yeah, there you go. Just adorable. All right, so thank you very much, everybody. Naz Singby, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And Jocelyn Young, you have a super chat. Baron, that is what Chuck and Camilla did to Lizzie. They had to move her off the screen. I know. They kind of remember when the Sussexes made that surprise visit, and all of a sudden they moved the Queen to Sandringham just to make sure. I guess they figured Sandringham would be so traumatic that Harry would never go there to surprise her. So, but yeah, they had to kind of move her out of the scene and off the scene, and then next thing you know, she's shaking hands with Liz Truss, and goodbye. So yes, that is odd the way that worked out. But yes, again, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, everyone, for your very generous contributions. Always appreciate it. Good grief, what time is it? Oh, it's 9:00 my time. Wow, how long have I been on here? Did somebody roofie me? Oh man, but thank you, everybody. And again, our queens Doria and Diana, thank you for those amazing kids, and now those amazing grandkids. Very cool. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Lydia says, good night, family. If you have not already, please thumbs up. Good night, all. Thank you so much for that, Lydia. Yeah, thank goodness the Spencer jeans got there first, right? Oh man. Well, thank you, Anita. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. All right. So our last word of the day is going to be. Oh, excuse me. Let me see here. Yes, that's our last word of the day. Thank you, Phyllis Johnson says. Don't forget to turn your clocks up Sunday. Again, don't forget to turn your clocks up Sunday. People always tell me, well, you know, you're going to lose an hour. I don't care what time of year, whether it's spring or fall, I'm always losing an hour. It just always seems like I lose an hour, so I'm not even going to fight it. But okay, yes, remember, so that's Sunday night. You have to do your clocks. Sunday night. Okay, 11 p.m. your time. Oh goodness, you must be. Wait, don't tell me. You're in the Caribbean, right? If it's 11 p.m. your time, because it would be 10 p.m. East Coast, so you got to be a little further east. Oh, yes, there it is. There's the link for my Duke and I. This is how you can get to Anita's channel. Thank you very much, Lydia. That is the link for my Duke and I with Anita. There you go. Okay. All right. Good night, you guys. Sunday, 2 a.m. That's the time. Black Queen says in the United States, Sunday, 2 a.m. That is when you need to mess with those clocks. You got to change those clocks. Most people do it just before they go to bed. And also, if you have a smartphone or whatever, you know it happens automatic. So set your alarm for the regular time if you need to set your alarm because 3 a.m. your time is when you got to do it. Okay. I think it's 1 a.m. for me then. I think for me it's 1 a.m. All right. Great fun, you guys. And this is the Sussex Squad, and we are particularly petty sometimes. We can dish it out just as much as they think we're supposed to take it. And I'm always obliged to do that whenever I can. But in other words, what I'm trying to say is leave the Sussexes alone. Just leave them alone. And I promise you, I will be the least critical person that you can think of. But leave them alone and, and we'll stop pointing out those little petty deficiencies that you guys are trying to uphold as something magnificent for that very mediocre couple. Oh, I got a couple of things from my wish list today. I have a Bluetooth adapter for my car, and also I got a power cable, and I think it's from the same person. Excuse me. So I will send a personal thank you, but I don't want to say your name, but thank you so much for the gifts. I did receive them, and I cannot wait to use this. It's a Bluetooth FM transmitter for the car. So if you have an older car, right? I don't know if you guys know this exists, but there's something you can plug into your cigarette lighter, front or back, and it actually uses the radio station. I think here is, what is this? 106.8. Well, that's an empty channel most places in the world. And so you can actually transmit a signal from this device to, and it's about the size of, it's like the size of a cigarette lighter. And it has a volume switch. You can answer phone calls. You can plug in what is that? Well, those plugs. You can plug those in and still charge your phone while this is plugged into the lighter. So if you have an older vehicle, you could actually use this as though you have a new smart car or something like that. So check it out. You'll find it on Amazon. So thank you for the gifts. And oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Baron, can we hear Trenchtown Man for our birthday queen before we go a second time? And that is a certainty. Where is he?
Yes, Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Serge Nelly's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, Oh, is it Miss Fletcher's birthday too? We have another birthday? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your birthday with us. Very, very cool. That is always amazing to me. And I promise you, I love when people say that I'm keeping them company anywhere. Always glad to hear that. And if we can be here for your birthday, so much the better. So remember, it is Women's History Month, but truthfully, it's her story now. So don't forget to learn about extraordinary things that women have done to make this country a better, more livable place. All right. So with that, you guys, I'm going to Avenger ourselves out of here. Let me see here. All right. Yep. All right. I'm going to Avenger out of here. I promise you guys, when you least expect it, I'm going to have a new opening for Royal Sussex. I mean, I have a new computer. I have to do a new opening. But it's going to happen. Give it time. I'm ready for a new one. But until then, well, you know the drill. Here we go. What y'all still doing? What y'all still doing on here? Oh man, I was trying to do something and it just wasn't working. Okay, here goes. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done. I just had to get that out of my system. So now that I've gotten that out of my system, now I'm done. So love you guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex.